It's Money Monday.
Ooh, and we're excited. I hope
Clearly.
you're excited, especially
I think
because
so.
I've got Nadia Melton joining me today, and she is enthused to be live with me today
I know.
and all of you today. So
Exactly.
we're excited. How many of you would love to know the best tools, apps, and outsourcing strategies for duplication so that you can build a 6 or 7 figure business? Because I'm going to tell you right now, the strategies we're going to teach you today, the tools, the apps, the systems that we're using, I'm telling you right now, some of them we get very excited about. Some of them you may have heard us talk about before, but we just got back from Vegas. We spoke at this attractionmarketing.com seminar. It was the Digital Networker live event. Used to be the No Excuses Summit. But these guys do a phenomenal job putting on events. And we're just excited that we got to like speak on stage in person again.
I know, baby.
And I have to say, you didn't skip a step, baby. You were on it.
I think we were both so excited to show up live, to have a live audience. And then, of course, you know how some things are taught, some things are caught. And when you spend time with people that are just high vibration, successful, just you can't help but notice that you are just a ball of energy. So we spent time, we learned a lot, we hung out with some of our favorite all-star friends, and it was really cool.
It was really cool.
It's always an honor, right, to show up and share our secrets and talk all things lifestyle, business optimization, because we only live once.
That's right.
If there's one thing to meditate on, is that time is our most precious commodity. And as an entrepreneur, I know for most of us, we suffer from this superhero syndrome, right? How many of us? Let us know in the comments if you're guilty as charged, because for over a decade of being entrepreneurs, I don't know about you, John, but I continue to like burn myself out, right? So we underestimate how long something is going to take, and we overestimate how quickly we can get it done. And so with all that being said, you guys, I have to take a second and recognize the fact that we live in the age of technology. It's 2022. I know. Technology, the tools, the apps that we now have at our fingertips, if you know how to just optimize, right? You could literally create the dream business for you. So you can enjoy your family, you can enjoy yourself, you can budget the time to rejuvenate, because remember, you can't sell the dream looking like a nightmare. So I am super excited about this training. We actually even have a couple of slides for you to help you with clarity. Clarity equals power. So if you ever feel like you're just weeded, like there's not enough time in the day, you know, you just feel exhausted by all the things in your mind that has to get accomplished, I think this is a must listen to training for you. And I want to encourage you to share as well. If you know other entrepreneurs in the space that are working really, really hard, it's not about working hard. It is, and it isn't, right? Because now we can also work smart.
That's right. That's right. And let us know where you're coming in from in the comments. We're just curious. Also, for those of you that are sharing and are tagging people, we're going to randomly pick some winners.
Okay. Yeah.
We're going to give away some 90-day trackers, which I think this is the best physical tool on the planet. I might be biased, but that doesn't mean it's not true.
Yeah.
So we're going to give away some 90-day trackers and or cash. So you may say, hey, I already have a 90-day tracker, but I'd like some cash money. So let us know in the comments if you're sharing, if you're tagging some people, and let us know, like I said, where you're coming in from. We're really excited, though, because, you know, this is something we figured out probably about 10 years ago, right? We started reading like Magnetic Sponsoring, the 4-Hour Work Week, right? We started following like Gary Vaynerchuk and Ray Higdon and Chalene Johnson and all these like experts and internet marketers. And, you know, that's when we started paying attention to tools, social media. We wanted to work smarter, not just harder, like Nadia mentioned, but outsourcing, using systems and strategies for online building. And it's crazy to me because, again, we just got back from this event, how many network marketers are still doing a lot of old school strategies that just aren't working, or they aren't duplicating, right? You want to start thinking through your processes, your protocol, your system. Like, how can you simplify to multiply, right? And again, when you have apps like the Boards app, which we'll talk about, right? Project Broadcast. Let us know some of your favorite tools, some of your favorite apps in the comments below. But also, again, outsourcing, delegating some of the tedious work. How many of us would agree that there are times where we're doing things that are not like those top tier income producing activities? How many of us are guilty of this, right? Maybe it's responding to basic questions, answering the same questions over and over again. That is your opportunity. That's where a light bulb should go off. Boom. And you should go, you know what? I need to create a PDF or a guide or a tool of some sort where I can just push people to that tool. I can point people in the right direction so they know where to get the tools and where to get the resources that they need to build their businesses. And, again, when it comes to questions, would you agree you get a lot of the same questions over and over again? When it comes to graphics or certain videos, right? How many of you have people that are like, well, I want to know more about the products. I want to know more about the comp plan. Doesn't it make sense to have a comp plan video? Doesn't it make sense to have, guides in your ATM groups that are organized on the different products or the different countries? So all of this is just, again, working smarter and having that long-term vision, having the big picture in mind. So this is some of the stuff we talked about this weekend. So I'm excited. Are we going to pull up the slide deck?
John, I think let's kick this off.
Yeah.
I think this is a good place to start.
Yeah.
How many of us, let us know in the comments, if your number one initiative right now is to scale your business. Now, if you're tuning in and you go, you guys, come down to earth, your highness. I'm not even at six figures yet. I get that, right? Back in the day when John and I were setting our goals and we didn't have the systems, we didn't have the workflows, we didn't have the clarity, of course, we have today. But I remember saying, let's just write down a goal to create a 7-figure income. And you said, John.
I'm like, how? How are we going to do this? Like, we haven't even made 7 figures. We write down the goal every year.
Yeah.
How are we going to do it?
And I said, I believe how is none of our business. I believe that it's good to kind of understand the way things work, and then we can work towards that. And it's just all the things when they all come together. So anyways,
that's right.
John and I sat down, we were putting together this beautiful slide deck. And I always like to tap into, those TP top concepts that move the needle in your business. And this is it. So if we were to put our brains in a blender, blend it with the top off and catch the best ones. This is it, baby. Go ahead, please.
Well, and I also
explain the diagram.
I also want to share what I shared on stage, and it's okay to be overwhelmed. Would you rather be underwhelmed? Would you rather be like, oh my gosh, this is so boring and basic. I already know all of this. No, we're sharing things with you to help you build a 6 or 7 figure business, bottom line. And you need training systems, right? You need to teach the newest person what to do to launch their business, but also a DMO, like what to do every day. That's a part of your business, right? Opportunity and products, leadership development, team culture, all these things are most important. How many of you use the ATM system to expose your prospects, right? You're acquiring customers with the ATM system. You're building your teams with the ATM system. Let us know in the comments below. But the biggest thing is outsourcing, delegating, using tools, right? Don't be a fool. Use a tool, right? This is what our specialty is. This is what we love, right? We love building our businesses online. We love leveraging tools. Social media is a tool. The ATM system is a tool. But here's a few of our favorite tools. In fact, Nadia and her team have updated the resources page.
It's so good.
So we have more detail, more description on all of the above, everything that we're talking about. So I would highly recommend you take a screenshot of this. You jot this down afterwards to visit mylifestyleacademy.com/resources. Everything from our favorite books, tools, all the things you need. Our social media, recruiting and prospecting guide is in there. But these 3 things we want to mention real quick. Number 1, the Boards app. I think that might be my favorite tool in the last 5 years. outside of social media, because number one, if you don't know what the Boards app is, let us know in the comments if this is the first time you're hearing about it. I'm curious. But the first thing I love about the Boards app is that it's automatically connected to your keyboard. So it's right there in your keyboard when you're typing up a message, when you're responding to people, you can pull up your Boards app real quick and you can have the same response when people ask, what's the next step to get started? You can have the same response for group chats that you're added to. Again, I'm overwhelming some of you because I'm trying to get you to think bigger. It's hard to build an MBA, a massive bank account, when you're thinking teeny, teeny, tiny. Okay, so think bigger. That's number one. Number two, the Boards app is something that we love. A lot of our teammates are already using it. In fact, there's people on our team that don't even know about it. So if you're on our team, you're watching, make sure you download the Boards app. Make sure you're using the team-specific Boards app, because here's the beauty. You can have every graphic, every link, every script, everything you would say to someone when they ask specific questions. Like when you have those responses right there in your keyboard, boom, you can just copy, paste, boom, copy, paste, boom, copy, paste, boom. Over and over again, but then you can also have your entire team access the exact same scripts, the exact same board. So we have our M Life Nation board with everything they need. And the beauty is our virtual team, they will update what's going on, what's happening. So you know what I think I really like about it? It's off of social media.
Yeah.
Right. So how many of
that
us would
too.
agree? It's nice to have another way to support your team or communicate with your teams. In fact, this next app, the Shout app, is really awesome as well. Some of the leaders in our company have actually created daily posts so that the Shout app is notifying them every day. Now, sometimes people from other companies are like, hey, what are these posts every day? Well, here's the problem. It's really for our company specifically because it's helping promote the products. It's creating curiosity and conversation around our products. So you would have to use this for yourself. You would have to create your own version of this. But imagine how exciting it would be for those new people that don't know how to market, that have never promoted the products, that are brand new to your company. Imagine if they could get notifications every day of, here, copy and paste this, post this in your stories, post this on your Facebook to, again, create conversation, create curiosity around the products. It's super cool. And then the third app, most of you have probably heard us talk about this, or you're already using this, and that's Project Broadcast. Why do I love Project Broadcast? Because you can text message your customers. You can add customers or even prospects to your Project Broadcast so they get a text message from you to their individual cell number, right? Obviously. So they're not like in a group text, but it comes from your Project Broadcast cell number.
Right.
So it's not your personal number, but it's a great way to capture leads, communicate with your team. And again, let me take you one step further. So with our incredible virtual team, right? I'm sure Bem's on here. I think Kyle's on vacation this week, but Kyle, Bem, Desi, they help us so much with a lot of this. So as an example, Desi and Bem will help out with creating copy, with sending text messages to my customers on my behalf. Now, of course, we approve everything and we help out with all of that. But again, from a duplication standpoint, imagine your virtual team and you and your leaders, whatever, you come up with some good copy to send out text messages to someone's text list. And then you blast that out to your whole team and say, hey guys, here's what we're sending out to our customers for the promo or for, for educational purposes, because you want to make sure when you're following up with your customers, when you're communicating, whether it's through Facebook, Instagram, social media, whatever it is, text message, that you're not just selling, that you're not just promoting only when you have, something going on. You want to also educate, lead with value, all the things. But again, these three tools are three of my favorites. For sure, download them if you don't have them already. Learn to use these three tools and let us know in the comments which one is your favorite. And if you want to share anything that you see as a benefit having these three tools that I did not mention. Also, for those individuals that have been sharing and tagging people, let's pick a couple winners now.
Let's do it.
So we're going to pick 2 winners right now. We'll pick,
I don't know if I can go that
maybe
far
a couple more.
Let me see.
We'll try to find 2 people
randomly
that have been sharing, and you'll either win a 90-day tracker or cash money. So how do you want to do this? You want to just scroll and then I'll count backwards from 5?
No, I'll just put it on the board and then there you go. Sherry.
Okay.
Winner
Just like
number
that.
1.
Sherry
Yes.
Barkas.
Yes, Sherry. Ooh. Ooh, are you excited? Let us know in the comments if you're excited. You cannot even hide it, right? Okay, let's do one more. Oh, I found it. Tracy Gunnels.
Okay, so the two of you just won cash money or a 90-day tracker. Simply email our support team, support@mylifestyleacademy.com, support@mylifestyleacademy.com, and let us know if you want cash or a tracker. Okay. And
awesome.
That's another tool we love is our 90-day tracker.
Yeah.
So for those of you that are interested in like, hello, I want a tracker. What, like, can I like run a contest for my team and like give them some of these? Yes. mylifestyleacademy.com/tracker.
And we also put all of our favorite resources, baby, on our newly designed resources page. So I want to encourage you, go check it out. You'll find all of our famous downloads. And we've added some new content. Like, you know, let's say you go, guys, I am ready to kick it up a notch with my brand. We actually have a download for you to help you get clarity with what your personal brand is all about. And then also some tools to help you even kick out your own website. So we've spent a lot of time. This was a big project for us as a team, and we wanted to bless you with that clarity. So check it out. Okay, now let's shift gears a little bit, right? Now that we talked about the tools. Oh, and for those of us that do not know how to use the Boards app, we also created very simple instructions.
Right.
So you can just download it right from the resources page as well, which I really love. I really, really love. Okay. Now, John, do we want to switch into the outsourcing conversation? Okay. And let me kind of help you get clarity with this. When it comes to outsourcing, I want you to think two things. You can either outsource to a tool / an app / a system, right? Or you can outsource to a person. And this particular conversation, when it comes to actually bringing on virtual help, I'm telling you guys, revolutionized everything for us. And if you can relate to this, for me, it was so hard for me to get on board with that conversation because I do have perfectionitis. I do want things on the up and up. And my motto used to be, if I want it to be done right, I better do it myself because I take the time, I have a vision, I execute, I crush, right? And then we talked a little bit about the fact that just it leads to burnout, right? You can't be your best when you're in the weeds. Like you can have it all, you cannot do it all.
Amen.
And finally, I got the message. And I had to kind of even train myself initially. And we hired Marie back in the day, like in 2012. And I said to myself, you know what it is? I'm just going to give this thing a try. You know, these big mentors keep talking about virtual help. I can't even visualize that. So let me just step into it. And for some of us, if you've been looking for a sign, this is it. We need to step into it. And we need to just put our toe in the water. And so we hired Marie at $3.50 an hour.
Out of the Philippines.
In Philippines.
Right.
By the way, my favorite, tool to use is Upwork.com. There's tools like Fiverr.com. There's tools like 99designs.com, depending on what kind of virtual help you need. But Upwork.com, I love extra. And then you could think of that particular platform as like a global marketplace, right? You can hire talent anywhere in the world. Now, my favorite country happens to be Philippines. And most of our team is in Philippines, right? We need to go to Philippines. We really, really do.
Amen. Okay. Concur.
So we hired Marie, and you guys, 10 hours a week. I just had that mindset. Let me just start with that. And back in 2012, I dipped my toe in that water.
Upwork.
Yes.
I saw some people upward, outward. No. Up, like up.
Oh,
work.
Bam. Can you please drop? We actually have a blog post article on our blog.
That's right.
That shows sort of like 1, 2, 3 ABCs on how to think through hiring your very first virtual assistant. And we have all the tools there, right? We have all the tools. But I really want to convince you on the fact that the sooner you start to train yourself to let go of control and experience this model. If it's done at 80% quality, like you would have done it at 100, but you have somebody come in and do it at 80% quality, that's better than you doing it at 100%. And that's the only way, honestly, that you could really optimize your lifestyle and you could really scale your operations, right? You always have to be working on your business, not in the weeds in your business, right? Okay, so now let me give you, or I'm going to turn it over to John because, baby, you're so good at this. But I want to give you specific ideas how your virtual team can come in and support you on the back end and take you out of those repetitive activities that do not require your talent. Yeah. Okay, so let me do that, baby. Okay. You go ahead.
Yeah, pull up the slide. Yeah. So here's the thing. Nadia hit the nail on the head. There's so many. I remember having these conversations where so many times I'm like, wow, it's cool that you have your virtual team for our brand and for all the online marketing stuff. But like, I don't need that. Yeah. I don't need any of them to help me with my network marketing business. Right. And this was probably like 5 years ago. And Nadia she's very persuasive.
Well, I just noticed that John was in the weeds.
That's right.
Right. He was in the weeds. And then I brought it's fine. Okay. Because it's going to look good on the big screen for these guys.
Got it.
Okay. So, but I just started to notice, and I want you to notice the same thing. You know what I mean? Like, what are those repetitive things that put you in the weeds? I'll give you a good example. John would be so overwhelmed at one point
with group chats,
right? With group chats. And then I just watched him and I noticed that he was kind of like doing the activities that really didn't require his talent.
Right.
And this is where we brought in our virtual help to help with things like that. So maybe break it down.
It really is.
Maybe it's fine. There's nothing I can do about it. You already said it twice. You already said it twice.
It was brighter when we were on stage. I just don't get it. All right. So anywho, hopefully you guys can see this okay. But the bottom line is we started taking small steps. And I would recommend you do the same thing, right? You're not going to hire someone and have them, doing 20 different things. Just have them do some of the things that maybe you're overwhelmed with, responding to comments, maybe helping with your stories, maybe helping you with your customers, maybe helping you with community management with your Facebook groups, right? Whatever that looks like. I think it's just so important for you to just get the ball rolling when it comes to that. So the community management piece, like imagine having help with directing your teammates, your social marketers, your reps, your distributors, whatever you call them in your network marketing company. In ours, we call them social marketers, right? So when they have questions, when they're getting started, right, we'll do like a welcome post as an example, welcoming all the new social marketers. And then we're telling them we tag all of them, welcoming them to the team. Couldn't get that word out. And then telling them what to do, where to start. Right? And guide one so they can learn how to launch their business, what to do to get started, right? Where's the PDFs? Where's the boards app? Like what trainings to get started with? So imagine having a VA that helps you with that. Imagine having a VA that helps with posting the winners of your contests and even sending out the gifts, right? Recognition gifts. Like we all know people will die for recognition. How about creating graphics for trainings, for promos, for your stories, for giveaways, right? Rank advancements, all the things. Managing your project broadcast. How about organizing resources in your Facebook groups, organizing trainings, helping update your boards app if you have one? How about messenger support, right? With team chats, with prospecting chats, right? Group chats. It's pretty cool, actually. Every morning, Bem or maybe Kyle, they'll go through and respond to the prospecting chats that were added to. So cool, right?
Yeah.
Meaning the ones that I haven't responded to yet, they're responding. Now they're responding, but they're using my words, right? They're using my script. So it's the same difference. They're still getting a response. They're hearing my story. And when you can start to automate and duplicate some of this, I mean, it can be super powerful because you can then focus on those, like I said, top tier income producing activities and not get so caught in the weeds with having to do things that are important. But in the grand scheme of things, you could outsource to someone else. You could train someone else to help with those things. And then here's what's beautiful. Once you build that virtual team, they can then help with onboarding a new virtual assistant. They can help with telling you like what they think is missing or what else they could help contribute with. Or, like when we got, pretty big, we started like hiring, new people to come on board and, taking on different responsibilities. In fact, we just hired a new team to help with editing our live videos.
Yes.
So they edit our live videos for Reels,
So
for TikTok. We also use, this is another really cool thing. We also use our live videos like this, and we turn it into a podcast. We turn this into, some repurposed content like a blog post. But again, our team is doing that on the back end. In fact, our team is on here right now. We love you guys, helping respond to comments. They'll help with running StreamYard or Zoom. So I just want you to start thinking about all these little things that you might say, well, this isn't a big deal and that's not a big deal. But if you add up all those little things that aren't a big deal, you'll actually see it takes up a lot more time and brain capacity. So the sooner you can start outsourcing for $3, $5, $10 an hour, the better.
Okay, so I want to point this out to you guys because I'm seeing some of your comments. And look, here's the thing though. There's one additional step I want you to think about before we start to hire virtual help. And that is we need to, it's a step with two things, right? We need to organize all of our digital data.
Ooh,
so using something like a Dropbox or a Google Drive, having a system where it's very easy for somebody to go in there, find your logo or find your content or whatever, or store content. So organization is important. And number two, we have to then create security around the content. So I saw Meg say, oh, I'm so nervous about giving my password to my new virtual assistant. You don't want to be doing that. So there's other tools like Lastpass.com. There's 1Password.com where essentially you're going to want to go in and create really complicated passwords. And everything is in that strategic outsourcing training on our blog. So I don't want to talk about it too much, but I do want to point this out that we want to be diligent with this stuff, right? We've seen too many people get hacked, lose their social media. And it's not even necessarily that, you don't trust your virtual assistant, but you don't know, they might be logging on from a connection that's not secure. It's better to cross our T's and dot our I's. So with LastPass, really love that tool. It gives you an opportunity to create one really complicated master password, and then you have all of your passwords stored. It's an app. It's also an extension on your browser. And then that tool is going to let you log into all your things. And then when you're ready to assign access to your VA, you just create a vault of passwords for them. Can you believe that? How cool. So you assign passwords to them. They're able to log in, but they never get to see the password or whatever. So if the relationship doesn't work out, you just revoke access and it's good to go. So a couple things to think about. Check out that blog post. I think it's really important so you see the full picture. And I promise you guys, when you really cultivate that vision, and the one question you asked on stage that I really loved, John challenged the audience. He said, look, what does your perfect day look like? And I want you to think about that. What does the perfect day look like, a year from now, 5 years from now? So back in the day, before we had all the things, I really thought about that, you guys. And I visualized, just if for our brand specifically, I'll give you a very specific example. If that week, the only thing we did was show up on a Money Monday, create a piece of content, and then we have a team in place, we have workflows, we have protocols, where now our team takes that recording and it goes into production. So it then later is going to show up on our podcast. It's going to show up on our blog. It's going to be, broken down into micro pieces of content that could be used for Reels or TikToks, right? An email goes out to the team, and I don't have to supervise every little step. And I saw that in my mind, and then I decided, gosh, Like, how cool would it be to have a team one day to help us really expand our connective tissue, right? And expand our reach. And we build towards that. Now, it's not going to happen overnight. It's not going to happen overnight.
Right.
Nothing successful happens overnight, but time is going to go by anyway, right?
That's right. No, I mean, it really is the long-term vision for why you're doing this, right? Freedom. That should be the long-term goal, is freedom, is lifestyle. Like, how many of us, that's why we got started, because we wanted to create that schedule, that perfect day. We wanted to be able to travel, wake up when we're done sleeping. We wanted to spend more time with our families. Like, these are the reasons people get involved. And you have to remember that. You have to keep in mind, keep the main thing. Go, okay, yes, I'm not where I want to be in my business, or I'm a little overwhelmed right now, or, I'm still learning, I'm still growing, I'm still developing my skills, my belief, my confidence, my posture, all the things. I'm getting better at discipline. I'm getting better at marketing. Like, anything you're not good at, you're just not good at it yet. But keep in mind why you got started, what you're looking to accomplish long term. And when you have that long-term vision, when you have the end in mind, and you should enjoy the process. You should be having fun. This shouldn't be a super stressful situation. In fact, I talked about this,
John.
I talked about this on stage, where we had, a leader of ours that we were friends with, and they're like, oh, I just wrapped up my 17th Zoom of the day. Like, I appreciate and respect that work ethic, but that's how you burn yourself out. And that's not appealing. Like, people on the outside looking in, or even your team, they see that and they're like, 17 Zooms in a day? Like, I don't want to do 17 Zooms in a week. And I don't. I ATM my face off, right? For me, my perfect day was, by 4 or 5 o'clock every day, I would love to have my piece of content up and done, right? My video, my podcast, whatever it is, right? Whatever you're doing, I'd want to have my piece of content done by 4 or 5 o'clock every day, right? First of all, let's also point out, we'd want to fire our boss and go full time, right? But if you're full time and you had that perfect day, wouldn't you love to just do all your follow-ups in the morning, right? Respond to all your messages. You have your content done by, mid-afternoon, early evening, and then that's just like you're running your business like a traditional business owner, right? 40, 50 hours a week, working your business. In the evenings, you have your free time. Maybe in the evenings, I remember Veronica Alice taught this at one of our retreats, right? She said in the evenings, she has her VAs responding to all her messages, right? She has her VAs responding to all her comments in her social media. So when she gets online that next morning, because she's only working her business, maybe, I think she said like 20 hours a week, something like that, like 15, 20 hours a week. And the rest of the time, she's got the outsourcing piece set up. She's got the tools in place. And for some of us, we might want to only work our business 10 hours a week. We might want to work our business 50 hours a week. We might want to work our business in the evenings. Like, it's up to you. What's your perfect day look like? And then the mindset should be, how can I create the tools, the systems? How can I build a virtual team? How can I create outsourcing and delegation, right? And automation. These are our favorite words. Indeed. To really optimize my results. And at the end of the day, make a bigger impact, help more people. You're building a freaking empire. I want you excited about this. This is a legacy for your children's children. Like, for those of you that have the end in mind and you're thinking that long-term residual income is what you want to accomplish, and you want to build something that gives you financial freaking freedom.
I love it.
Then you also need to keep in mind that you don't want to burn yourself out and work 8 to faint. Remember, that used to be what we did back in the day, 20 years ago.
What is the first thing you would outsource? Let's jump into that. I want to handle some questions.
So you really want me to answer this question?
Yes, please.
Okay. First thing, I think, is helping out with your social media, helping out with your leads, your comments, your inbox. Some of those things I think are kind of the easier steps versus getting, and it kind of depends on where someone is, right? If you already have a customer base, if you already have a team, it's different than someone that's like, I'm like a team of one. So it kind of depends on where you're at in your business.
It depends. A couple of clarity questions would be, what's the number one thing that brings you anxiety on the weekly basis, right? What's the number one thing? A really good exercise I would challenge you to do is write down everything you do from Monday morning until Sunday night. And I want you to look at those repetitive activities that continue to show up for you. Those usually are an easy easy way to get started, right? If you could just remove some of those repetitive things that do not require your talent, that's really helpful. Now, for some of you, it might be I work from home, it's summertime, I have my kids, and I don't have time to cook, or that particular piece
That's
gives me
true. It
gives
could,
me anxiety,
yeah, it could be
or
something at home.
cleaning.
Yeah.
So it could be that you hire somebody to come in once a week to help you a few hours to clean, or you outsource to a food prep, meal delivery. Like there's so many cool ways that you could really start to troubleshoot those anxieties, because another big thing too when we're talking about outsourcing is your energy, right? You have to show up as an entrepreneur building your business energetically. If you're not at your best, you're not going to create as much impact, right? So if you were to then look backwards and say, what are the activities that are snagging my energy, that are, stealing that time, and now you have to recuperate after those activities. So really think about that. So I love that exercise.
Yeah, pay attention to your
Make a
energy.
list, right? And then think about, the anxiety things, and then think about the repetitive things. That's a great place to get started.
Yeah, I tell you what, I remember, when we first started building a follling,
Mhm.
one of the first things we started having our VA do at that time was just messaging our new followers every day on Instagram and Facebook. And, just like, and listen, the message we were sending out would be different than yours, but sending out a message to connect with new followers, because let's be honest, not every person that sends you a friend request, not every person that follows you is going to engage with you. They're not all going to message you like, hey, I'm following you now. What do you do? Like, that's just not the deal. So you're going to have to be proactive in those relationships, and in proactively creating those relationships and engaging with your audience. And, it could be, something where, maybe you have the VA that you hire, they start
Love that, Amy.
posting some of
Mhm.
your content in groups. Maybe they help out with repurposing some of your content for different platforms. Like imagine you create a piece of content on your Facebook, and then you have a VA that helps take some of that content that you're posting, and they're posting it in groups that would get value from that conversation on LinkedIn, maybe Twitter, right? Like we talked about with the live videos, taking a live video and repurposing it for a blog post or for YouTube or for short form videos, editing up those videos. There's all these little things that you sometimes don't think about. And like Nadia said, if you just write down what's giving you the most anxiety, what do you feel zaps your energy, right? And see if you can, start having someone else help with those things.
Oh, Candy, I love your question. I'm sorry to interrupt, baby. Do you pay them through Venmo? This is why I love Upwork.com. So what happens on that platform is it's like a middle place, right? So when you hire on that platform and your VA is working for you, they have built-in software that takes random screenshots. So it's cool because you can go back and look at your VA's work diary, especially the first couple of months whilst you are developing rapport, building a relationship. You want to stay on top of that until there's trust, until you feel competent that this person can do the tasks, right? But anyway, so I love that level of accountability with Upwork.com. And then they just take a tiny little fee. So if you hire somebody at $5 an hour, right, your assistant is going to get, call it $4.75. Upwork keeps a little bitty percentage, but they provide you with that sense of like accountability, right? You can go back and review. That's what I would use. That's what I would recommend.
Yeah, I agree. I like what your dad said here, Amy. Very smart.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the thing, right? There's so many things that we do that mindless, or, maybe we lack creativity. We could hire someone that's creative. Things that, it's just tedious. It's unnecessary. You can outsource these things. And also, I think it's really important to maybe talk to some of your teammates. Like, you might have some people in your team. Forget outsourcing for a second, right? We talked about delegation. You might have some people in your team that would step up and help out with the Facebook groups, right? They would be admins or moderators for your training group. Like, don't forget about your existing team. Like there's people on your existing team that can help out with trainings. They can help out with, there's things that you lack, right? There's things that like, you're not like, I'm not great at getting customers, right? Like that's not my strong suit. So there's other producers, there's other top sellers within our team. We will have them show up and do trainings in the training group. I'm not a mom, right? We have a lot of moms in our company, on our team. So there'll be some moms on the team that'll go into these groups and share their story, share their testimonial, get vulnerable, share tips on how to work their businesses around being a mom. And you just have to start thinking creatively, like, how can I get more people to help contribute to the Facebook groups, the ATM groups, to what we're doing, how we're showing up, and really getting good at delegation and outsourcing. I'm telling you, it's game changing.
It is a game changer.
Yeah.
I love it, baby. That was really good. Thank you for sharing your nuggets. I hope you guys got some value, and I'd love to hear from you. What is going to be the one thing that you're going to implement right away? Because, one of my secret ingredients, I feel, is whenever I plug into any kind of training, I always look for at least one takeaway, one nugget. It doesn't have to be major, but just a little thing. It could be as little as you think about the number one anxiety right now that you're facing, jot it down, and then think outside the box for creative solutions to, tackle that. And if you build your life around just tackling and eliminating those energy suckers, and then you do it 30 days at a time. I also believe, you know what I mean? Like, if you identify, gosh, I'm just really, really weeded with those repetitive activities or whatever it is, I'm going to go ahead and hire a VA. I would budget 30 days to get that done, right? Not just to find somebody, but to also give yourself time every day to show up and properly train that person too, right? Maybe you plug in specifically for your personal development. For 30 days, you only listen to books or podcasts, or you're plugging into blog posts that have to specifically do with outsourcing. And you really understand that craft, because it is a craft.
Yeah.
It is a skill, and it's a skill set that's going to change everything for you.
And you can't look at it as a cost.
No, you cannot.
It's an investment in your business. It's funny because I just thought about this.
It's going to make you a ton of money.
We have
it's going to make you a lot of money.
Yeah, we have our cleaning crew here right now, right? There's is there 3 of them?
It depends on the day.
Yeah,
I think it's 2 today.
It's 2. Okay. 2. So it's 2 or 3 of them that come over once a week and clean the house, right? Different rooms in the house. So again, it might be you might look at it as a cost, an expense, but it's an investment, because instead of us having to clean the house or us having to do certain things, right, we can hire someone to help with that. In fact, I remember back in the day, probably 4 summers ago, because we wanted Christina to have someone else helping out with her during the summertime, right? We hired Isabella, and they would do Bible study together, and she would take her places, sometimes take Dylan places. So, middle of the summer, great time to hire someone to help out. And it doesn't have to be 40 hours a week. You can have someone come over 2 days a week and just help out with the kids. Again, start thinking outside the box and just writing down all the things you do throughout the day, the things that, take up time, and figuring out strategically how you can help with the outsourcing piece, with automation, with creating tools, creating systems, processes, and eventually you'll get to the point where you want to outsource everything. Everything we do for the most part, we're
unless it requires our talent.
Right. How can we get maybe we can hire someone to help with this, hire someone to help with that, and here's the best part. These people are really grateful, right? Whether it's your virtual team or people that you're hiring to help out, people are looking for other income opportunities. And if you take care of them, they'll take care of you. So anyway, I think this is a great conversation. Hope you guys got a lot of value from this. And if you want more training just like this, make sure you go to mylifestyleacademy.com, mylifestyleacademy.com. We put out a lot of training here on our social media, but there's also the podcast, the YouTube channel, the blog, all the things over on our website. All right, y'all. Happy Money Monday.
Thank you for hanging out. Go crush it.